Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another comic book review. Yeah, I know I've been trying to do a bit more comic book reviews, so yeah. This time around, I'm going to be doing a review for the original Sin run of Thor and Loki, the 10th World, 5 issue miniseries. One, two, three, all right, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 issues. It's a miniseries basically. And yeah, no, unlike most of the comics I pick up, I picked these up in a bunch. I didn't put it in my pull list or whatever. I really didn't care for the. I mean, I cared kind of for the original Sin Run. Like I followed it as best I can, as much as I could. But whatever happened at time. I think this came out like last year, early last year. Um, so and I kind of followed it and then followed it more or less, and then I picked up this set the 5 issues for about $2 all. I believe it was like $2 or $3 in total or something like that. 50 cents each, 5 comics, 250 plus tax. Let's say about $3 the whole thing. So yeah. Before I begin, though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually read this small comic book run miniseries, whatever you want to call it. For those who have yet to actually read the miniseries and haven't already, stop the video, check it out, and come back and watch the rest of this review. 10 seconds spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually read the Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm Original Sin miniseries, for those who have yet to actually read it and haven't already, please don't comment down below or messaging me, then never give you fair warnings as usual I did. So yeah, first off, I always thought this was pretty cool, like the way they kind of did this. Before I even get on commenting on this, I thought that was pretty cool. They only did it for the first 2 issues. Don't know why. I think they could have done it throughout all 5 issues. Yeah, I mean, Walking Dead did it for like issues 94 to 100 or something, where it showed like Negan's bat, Lucille. So why not Marvel? So yeah, whatever. Um, so yeah, as usual, quick synopsis, text and statistics, and then the rates. So basically, just to get for those who don't even know what original sin is, basically you have this one character called the creator, I believe, something like that, or Utua the creator. He was basically killed off, and he basically knew the secrets of every single Marvel character that that's ever been. And when he dies, all these secrets just start spilling out. Everybody starts learning stuff, and and basically it affects Thor in 2 ways. One during the original Sin run, which is what we're gonna discuss right now, and one after the original Sin run, which was the Thor comic run where we have Thor as a woman now. Which I picked up the first 8 issues up until when they revealed who the female Thor was. I'll get more into that later. So yeah, so basically during this run, the miniseries, the original Sin the 10th realm run, it is revealed that Loki and Thor, they both have a sister. Basically, Odin, way before Thor and Loki were born, Odin went to war with this um with the 10th realm. If you guys know the mythology, I believe it's Greek, Roman, whatever mythology they're from. I want to say they're no, I'm Roman. I'm pretty sure they're Roman. Um, fuck it. Their mythology is that there are like 10 realms of the universe. Earth is like the second or third realm. Asgard is like the fifth or sixth realm or something like that. There's different realms. The 10th realm attacked Asgard basically, and they managed to come to some kind of peace treaty, that they would no longer connect to each other, that the 10th realm would disconnect from each other, but and never go to war. But Odin had to give up his only daughter at the time, and it was a sacrifice he had to do, so he's like, sure, whatever. And then several millenniums, up until current day, more or less, where we're at now, the story, Thor and Loki both find out that they have a sister. Loki, he's mischievous. You know how he is. He's sneaky, mischievous. He's trying to get his own way, trying to help himself and Thor figure out who this person is. So he transforms into female Loki, I guess you could say. Yeah, you have female Thor right after this, but not right now. You have female Loki, and he's basically trying to convince the leader of the 10th realm to release the sister, release Thor. He's trying to prove that the Asgardians have changed, and yeah, I mean, overall, it was pretty good. Good story, pretty good. Pretty interesting. I just really, then again, I haven't read much of Marvel of what they're doing nowadays or at all, because Marvel, the thing is with Marvel, they renew like every single comic series they have within like a few months, normally in about a year. Because right now, at the time I'm filming this, they've already rebooted Amazing Spider-Man, because you had the original run, which was like 700 issues. It was 700 issues. Then you canceled it, made Doctor Octopus, Spider-Man, and you had Spectacular Spider-Man, and that was for about 30 issues. So for about 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Um, and then they rebooted it again to Amazing Spider-Man. I believe that was a 10 issue run. And now again, after the event for this year, which I forget what it is, uh, it's not Convergence. Convergence was DC. But whatever the event Marvel had for this year, they did it, and now they're rebooting Amazing Spider-Man again for like the third or fourth time already since the original run died back all the way back in 2012. So yeah, Marvel, they're known for restarting a lot, so that's why I don't pick up most Marvel stuff. If I do, it's more of the older comics, like in dollar bins. I don't tend to pick up some of their newer stuff. But this one, it was kind of new when I bought it. It was a couple months old by the time, and it was cheap, so why not? Again, pretty decent story. I don't really know what they would have done, what they're gonna do with this new character, the sibling. I forget her name. It's not Valkyrie or Valkyrie. She's been around before, but I forget what the sister's name is. But I really just don't see any use for her. And also, again, I read the Thor story, that the Thor comic run that happened right after Original Sin, and she wasn't in the first 8 issues. And I only picked up the first 8 issues because I only really wanted to know, only really wanted to know who who the new Thor was. And then I kind of canceled it, so I didn't have and canceled it mostly because the Thor issues were too expensive for me. And some people just asked me, why didn't you just pick up the one issue in which they reveal it, and that's it. Mostly because I want to see the story, right up until the reveal. And I'm pretty sure I would have missed out on the issue, and by the time I learned which issue it was, it would have been way too expensive. So that's why. So I mean, overall, just get back on the Thor and Loki 10th Realm story, Original Sin. Overall, it was pretty good. Again, pretty good. It has some pretty good art. I will say that the art is pretty good. It's some pretty good art. Nothing special. The covers are pretty good. I'll say that. I think the covers are better than the artwork inside, in my opinion. But the artwork inside is still pretty great, in my opinion. The writing is pretty good. It does bring some tension, between Odin and the Asgardians, Thor and Loki. And then this new 10th realm, the sister, the leader of the 10th realm. So it does bring some tension. And overall, it was a pretty good issue, pretty good run, 5 issue miniseries. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good as a whole. And yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on the miniseries. Have you read it? And if not, why not? And if you have, what are your thoughts on it? Comment on thoughts down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.